The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Big Llama podcast. I am your host, the Big Llama. This is the podcast where we talk about and listen. Where we talk about movies, and I bring on guest hosts and we talk about our favorite parts of movies, and just an overall podcast for the love of movies. And so tonight we're going to be talking to Roman2Raw, and the movie we're going to cover is Talladega Nights: The Ballad of Ricky Bobby. It's a 2006 movie. It stars Will Ferrell. It's directed by Adam McKay, and has John C. Reilly, Sacha Baron Cohen, and a host of other people. So let's not waste a lot of time. Guys, if you like these types of things, like these types of podcasts, make sure you follow, make sure you subscribe. If you're listening on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts, make sure that you're following the Big Llama podcast hosted by the Big Llama. If you're looking for movie reactions, go over to the Big Llama Show on YouTube. You'll find me there, and you'll find this podcast in video version, so that you can see our beautiful faces as we talk about this movie, which is a very, very funny movie. So I'm going to bring on my guest today, Roman2Raw. Welcome to the Big Llama podcast. How are you tonight, sir?
What's going on, Llama? Long time no see.
I know. So it's an honor to have Roman here on the Big Llama podcast. The whole purpose of this podcast is to bring people on who love movies or love movies just about as much as I do. And so you have seen Talladega Nights: The Ballad of Ricky Bobby countless times. What brings you back to this movie, and why do you watch it on repeat?
I would say mostly just because me personally, when it comes to movies, I'm a comedy guy. So Adam Sandler, Will Ferrell, all those guys. I mean, even all the guys they make the movies with. I can't. I'm bad with actors' names, but what Happy Gilmore, Step Brothers, Talladega Nights, the list goes on. I've seen them all, and they're just classics, bro. Classics.
Yeah, now I forgot how many movies Will Ferrell did with John C. Reilly, but I know he did Step Brothers with him, which is another classic. But this one, I think, more than anything, it's there's a style to this movie that is hysterical. Like, he plays it so straight, like he's an actual character, and the ridiculous things he says and the situations he gets put in. For me, one of my favorite Will Ferrell movies. Again, Step Brothers is up there. Old School is up there for me, but this one right here, I will watch on repeat. I think my favorite Will Ferrell movie is Anchorman.
That's a good one. That's a good.
I mean, Anchorman is to me the most ridiculous, stupidest movie, but the most quotable and fun time I've had watching a movie. But again, those are Will Ferrell comedies, and you have to come to expect a certain level from Will Ferrell. And
they never lose their touch either. Like, every Will Ferrell movie I've seen, no matter how, like Talladega Nights for prime example, I've seen that movie 1,000 times. Every time I laugh at it. Every single joke that they have in there, hilarious. No matter how many times I listen to it.
It's like there are so many like moments in this movie that I can replay in my brain. And we're going to talk about the funniest quotes in the movie. We're going to go through the different quotes, but there's just so many different moments. Like prepping for this podcast, I was like running it back in my head. I'm like, oh man, there's the scene where he stabs himself in the leg in the hospital.
Take another knife just to get it out.
Right. He's got a tough love. Tell him he can walk. Where he first gets on air and he puts his hands up and he doesn't know what to do with his hands.
Jimmy did it on the last one. He said, I don't know what to do with my hands.
I mean, there's just
Ricky Bobby. Is that 2 first names?
Exactly. If you're not first, you're last. I mean, the little baby Jesus scene.
The Italian, the antagonist in the movie, the Italian race car driver, like.
Oh yeah, Formula, like, but like all that stuff. Frenchie, he's like, Frenchie, you might as well just break my arm because I ain't saying it. He breaks his arm right then and there. So no, that's what I'm saying. Like there's so many moments in the movie that are funny that if you just played those clips on their own, I think brings it to the next level. And so that's what I think keeps the movie it fresh in my mind, is that I can always think of these scenes and still laugh in my own head. So that tells you there's a comedy right there.
Oh my gosh. Like when the kids are going off on their grandpa at the table.
Right.
Jim, I'm gonna go ape shit on your ass.
I'm all hopped up on Mountain Dew.
Yo, that classic.
Exactly. So like I said, it's one of those weird movies that like, I think Anchorman had the same problem. Is like you weren't sure, unless you're a big Will Ferrell fan, you weren't sure what to think, right? Because here's the tagline. I'm gonna read it for you from IMDb. It says, "#1 NASCAR driver Ricky Bobby stays atop the heap thanks to a pact with his friend and teammate Cal Naughton Jr. But when a French Formula One driver makes his way up the leaderboard, Ricky Bobby's talent and devotion are put to the test." Like it plays so serious in its description,
but what it actually is just nuts from the beginning.
A series of nutty things that happen. Let me see. Let's go through the cast list. I always like to see who is in this movie, and of course, I can't find the fucking cast list when I need the cast.
I got it right here. I'm already one step ahead of
you. I have everything, queued up, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have this ready to go, and no, I don't.
I was like, before I even came on here, I was like, let me show Llama, I'm serious. I went and looked up little facts about the movie and got the cast right here, got the regular overall on another page. Come on.
All right, let's see. So going through the cast list, and this is always fun, right? So obviously Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly as Cal Naughton Jr. That's like the heartbeat of the movie. These are the two guys who play off of each other so well, and that's why they've made so many movies together. But I think the MVP is John C. Reilly. Like if you really think about his performance here and in Step Brothers, he's he's known to be a more serious actor.
Yeah,
and he comes in and does comedies and just like he steps toe to toe with Will Ferrell.
I feel like it's with Will Ferrell though. Like they just have that charisma together. It's hilarious.
Right, you find that like partner who you can play off of and have the chemistry. So yeah, no, John C. Reilly is, to me. And that's why I put my name down. If you see it there in the lettering, and for those in the podcast world, you don't see it. It says the Big Llama, aka Mike Honcho. And when we started, I told Roman, I was like, if you know who Mike Honcho is. it's the pseudonym that I used when I posed in Playboy. Mike Honcho. I think he says I spread my butt cheeks and everything. I think he says that.
Yeah, isn't that when he was like in the fake coma?
Yeah, exactly. When he's coming in and out of consciousness.
You were asleep.
he was professing confessing all his sins.
He was asleep for like 2 days, and his wife left him for his best friend.
Oh my! And that's another thing too. Is like his wife was so shallow in the movie that you're like, wait a second, he's just up. He's not the #1 racer, and the funniest I think bit was like, he may not race again. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do for money?
Yeah. Oh God, bro.
I think the dynamic too that was interesting was like Cal Naughton Jr., the character, is just as good as Ricky Bobby in terms of race, right? Like if you when they're racing, they're both neck and neck the top dogs. And it's only sometimes because Cal Naughton lets him win by doing that slingshot move that Ricky Bobby's on this streak, and the one time he's like, Cal's like, hey man, you think like one time I could just win the race? Maybe you slingshot me to the front.
Well, Ferrell's like, but then that would mean I would have to come in second, and I can't do that. And he's like nonchalant. He's like, never bring it up.
Exactly. He's like, well, then I would lose, right? It's like, nah.
No, that's stupid.
Right. And Chauncey Riley, okay, yeah, you're right. Oh my God. Let's see. You got Sacha Baron Cohen, which he gets top billing in the movie or higher billing because he's such a bigger star. But he was only in like the second half of the movie as the Jean Girard, the Formula One driver, not Formula One, Formula One. Let's see. Ricky Bobby's dad is played by Gary Cole, which I think that guy is funny in all the roles he's in. But I don't know this again. I don't know if you know this, but Gary Cole was actually played the dad in the Brady Bunch movie. I don't know if you know this.
No, I haven't seen that.
I watched the Brady Bunch movie, and I hate to admit this, like 10 times. And I constantly, and whenever I see this guy on film, I'm like, that's the Brady Bunch dad. And that's all I can think of every time I see him. But he's done tremendous work.
Not to mention Michael Duncan. Didn't he die?
Yeah, he passed some years ago. But yeah, he's funny as hell in this movie. Like, he has the best hospital scene with him where we were just talking about where Ricky thinks he can't walk anymore, and then he like, all right, so there's a bit there, right? And so if you guys are rewatching this or rewatch the movie after listening to this, watch the hospital scene. There's a whole sequence when Will Ferrell stabs himself, and then he freaks the fuck out, like right. Michael Clarke Duncan is breaking character. He's breaking character in that scene. He's laughing at Will Ferrell's reaction, and he starts to cover his face like on a Saturday Night Live sketch. He just can't hold it together. And if you watch that scene, you'll see it. You'll see him in the corner just start laughing and start covering his mouth. And they kept rolling. They just used that footage.
But they did a lot in that same scene, because I actually found on one of the facts that that in that same scene, as they shot it over and over again, they were getting more and more reaction the bigger the knife.
Yeah.
So if you go back and watch it, like in one scene the knife's shorter, and then in the next scene it's longer, and they put it in there anywhere. Yeah.
Oh man, I love stuff like that. I love like trivia about the movie, and we'll look at some trivia too, so that way we can cover all aspects. But yeah, I love little pieces of information like that, because I know Adam McKay movies. I've watched a lot. I watched most of the movies he's put out. He has a way of just letting the actors riff and letting them do their thing to come up with the best scene that he can pick. So the fact that he had a bigger reaction per knife, that's pretty fucking funny. Let's see who else. I'm just looking down the list. Anyone else notable? I see Jane Lynch. She's a known person here.
For sure. Dale Earnhardt Jr. played as Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Oh my God! When he asked for Ricky Bobby's autograph, that's always.
But I mean, the whole little crew: Rob Riggle, Jack McBrayer, David. I don't know how to say it later. David Koshner.
Oh, that's Oh God, what is he?
But that's what I mean. Like when Adam Sandler, like Will Ferrell is like, they have their own little group that they like cameo in their movies or whatever, and they're always the same crew, and they're hilarious. I love what's his name? Rob Riggle. He's hilarious.
Oh man, Rob Riggle is hysterical and funny. But again,
even in Step Brothers,
he knows his place though. And then see, I love an actor who knows what his strength is. Like Rob Riggle is not, again, the guy is phenomenal. I think he's a great talent. But I think he knows he's not a leading man, right? And so you never see him as the main character of any movie, but any movie he's in, he steals the show. The scene that he's in is memorable. The role he plays, he always knows his place, but always does it well. So I think that's kind of a strength of some of these character actors that they know that they're not the best, but yeah, no, he's great. But you're right. Will Ferrell uses the same actors or some of the same actors in these different movies. And that's, again, you get a crew that works well together and you want to keep making movies and doing things together. So, that's always so much fun to see.
And it's crazy looking at the two sons because they like their pictures are showing like now that they're older, like compared to his movie.
Oh yeah,
seeing them all grown. One of them I don't even like recognize him. Texas Ranger and Walker.
Oh God, yeah. And that's funny too, that's the fun part of those are some dated references, right? Like at the time, Walker Texas Ranger was like a big show with Chuck Norris, right? And so as the movie ages, that joke gets less and less funny if you don't know anything about it, right? Like if you grew up at the time and you knew who Walker Texas Ranger was, when you hear the name Texas Ranger and Walker, he's referencing that thing. But that's again, the movie has a few moments only a few that like would be dated a little bit down the road. Yeah. But but the rest of it works. The rest of it works so well.
I like to watch it because of the old all the old logos they had, like Pizza Hut, Mountain Dew, Powerade, Wonder Bread, all of that, like all the old like logos and stuff they were using at the time.
And there's that whole sequence when they're doing the commercials.
Oh yeah.
It's a whole montage of crazy ass commercials.
Yeah, he did the red cheese and if you don't chew red chew, fuck you.
Exactly. Like that just comes out of the blue. But I think that's again, you give him the direction, you go here. Do an ad for Red Chew. And then he's like, if you don't chew Red Chew, fuck you. Like you're like, like what the fuck? And it hits you out of the blue. And then there was the blooper reel. There was the gag reel at the end that had all the extra commercials that he did. He did, I think, a funeral home commercial, and oh my god,
that's gotta be hard though to be doing a movie with Will Ferrell. Like, how do you even keep a serious face like that?
That's what I'm saying. Like, how do you keep it together when a guy is like riffing really hard? There's a couple there's a couple of scenes in different movies where I am dying laughing, and I'm thinking, how the fuck on the set you don't hear anybody else like dying of laughter?
You'd have to put me in a soundproof room because I would be like, oh man.
My thing is if somebody else laughs, even I'll find it funny, but if somebody else laughs, I find it even funnier.
Contagious.
Yeah. That's why when on the live streams and when I talk to Jimmy on the in the lobbies, when he laughs at something, I don't think it's hysterical funny. I just think it's funny because he's laughing about it, and it's like an infectious laugh. So it's the same thing in the movie. I'm like, if one person breaks character, I'm done. If I was on the set, I'd be done. Oh my god. All right, so let's go down some of the memorable quotes and let's just kind of see, and then we'll go into some trivia. I think this will be fun because it's a different direction. Like, so guys, if you tune into this podcast and you listen to the Be Kind Rewind podcast, it's different. It's different hosts and different guests that we bring on, and there's a different show almost every time because it all depends on the level of interest from the guests. So, for example, when I did the Joker Be Kind Rewind podcast, it was a more serious discussion about mental health because that's what the movie was about. But Chat Mom, who was my host or my co-host at the time, that's kind of where she was at with the movie. She wanted to talk about that more. So I like the fact that we're talking about specific pieces of the film, quotes, and trivia because that's kind of right up my alley as well. So again, it's all depending on the host. So always tune in. You never know who's going to be in and where the podcast will go in directions. So
you're only going to get the best content with this guy right here.
Exactly. And you like how I weaved a commercial in our podcast.
Yes, sir.
Shit.
Promo.
Always selling the product. I'm like a drug dealer.
I'm like the Jehovah's Witness for Big Llama show.
Do you have time to talk about the coming of the Big Llama show?
No, it's only gonna take 5 minutes.
Come on in. Let's talk about it. All right, let's see here. So and I'm looking at this is from, just so I give them credit, Screen Rant says here's the top 20, and let's see if we agree or disagree with these. The top 20 funniest Ricky Bobby quotes from Talladega Nights. So these are featuring Will Ferrell. So it says here,
if you ain't first, you're last.
Well, of course, that's got to be the first one. Actually, let's see. Do we want to share screen? No. We'll just read through it. Here we go. It says pleasing the fans. This is one of them. He says, this is when he's signing things, and he's like, "Absolutely, ma'am. I'd love to sign your baby." And he's signing breasts, and he's signing all kinds of shit over there. And that's when Dale Earnhardt Jr. shows up for his cameo.
Yeah.
Don't tell the other drivers.
Yeah, don't tell all the guys, man. He's like, "Hey, I'll see you out there."
I think that's great. Like, because honestly, like they had, I think, huge support from NASCAR. They were allowed to use the truck series. I mean, the car series and the racetracks and actual sponsors and names. And so that's great when you can get a partnership like that. But the fact that you get a cameo from that driver who was at the time one of the top drivers, like that's amazing, man. That's awesome. And again, it gives them all personality because you don't know anything like that. Let's see. Okay. This is when Cal Naughton is now dating his wife. And Ricky Bobby's like, I was only gone for 3 hours.
What happened?
She moved on. I mean, that's pretty good. This is another one. This is when I guess he's driving. It says when he's driving, it says he makes the comment, "The ninjas are trying to get me."
Oh yeah, that's when he came back and he's like, "I'm on fire! He's rolling around.
I mean, that is funny as well. It's like, help me, Oprah, help me, Beyonce.
Or even when he first crashed the car and he's like, "Oh, I'm flying."
Oh, here we go. This is another good one. They're at the dinner table, right? Him and his wife in that crazy dinner table scene with thank you, sweet baby Jesus, little,
Oh yeah, then, 8-ounce baby Jesus.
Yeah, the sweet 8 pound, 2 ounce Jesus.
Not even knowing a single word.
And what was it? I like to picture Jesus with a bow tie. Oh my God. Anyway, so he says, he tells everyone turn away. Things are going to get crazy. We're going to make animal noises. And that's when
my God,
he's attacking his wife in front of the kids.
No, but the grandson was like, "Chip, I'm 10 years old, but I'll beat your ass."
Exactly. You're going to let him talk to you like, and I love his response. Hell yeah, I'm going to let him talk to you like that. Those are winners.
That's what winners do.
Oh my God. Oh, let's see. I don't like these quotes. These quotes don't, obviously shake and bake, the perfect pairing. When he's like shake and bake,
I like the Magic Man one better.
I do like the Magic Man.
Now you see me. Now you don't.
Doing the John Cena. Did John Cena take it from them?
No, I think they took it to John Cena, but definitely did.
I'm telling you,
better product.
The shake and bake was funny when they did it to the
Frenchie.
It's a Frenchie, right? It's like shake and bake, and they're like in one ear and in his other ear. He's like,
said,
"Why are you?"
What is that? What are you talking about?
Let's see. These are pretty interesting. This is a random quote when he's talking about medical breakthroughs. And again, this is Will Ferrell playing it super straight, like just being confident in his delivery. He says, "I just read in the newspaper that they put a pig heart in some guy in Russia." What the fuck is that?
Like, I don't even remember that from the
I don't remember either, but like those are some of the ridiculous things that he says.
No, Will Ferrell, he never fails. Never fails.
No, never. And
did you watch Get Hard with Kevin Hart?
Oh my God. I love that movie.
I feel like he just gets better with age, bro. He's like fine wine.
Exactly. Okay, here's a good one. When he meets Frenchie, He says, "You sound like a dog with peanut butter on the roof of his mouth." And Sacha Baron Cohen is overdoing the accent, like huge, which is so smart to do. But yeah, you sound like a dog with. And again, he's just. I think they're at the bar, and
he puts the jazz music on, and then they all start freaking out. Like, what the fuck is this?
Right. And then they're like, we use that for profiling. And he's like, and then I love it. Frenchie's like, well, why is it in the jukebox if you don't want to play it? Oh my God.
That's for profiling purposes.
And the freak out is just unnecessary. And that's another part, like how ridiculous it goes that it's just jazz music, and they're like fucking flipping out like someone stabbed them in the ear.
For real.
Oh my God. Let's see. This is a good. I don't know if you remember this one, but this was another good one. He's being helpful. He says, he quotes here. Well, let me just quote the late great Colonel Sanders, who said, "I'm too drunk to taste this chicken." Like, what the fuck? Who comes up with that shit? Like, nobody wrote that. Like, somebody got drunk and just said that. That sounds like COD lobby. Like,
yo, for real. That's all, bro. It reminded me of Jimmy for real though. That's like literally like all the way up Jimmy's alley. The most out of pocket things you could ever say.
Oh my God. Let's see. Oh man. This is a good one too. I wake up in the morning and I piss excellence. That to me.
So use that to this day.
Exactly. That's a funny line and a true line. Like you could use that anywhere.
Anytime, bro.
I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence. Like, fuck
tweet
you.
that out tomorrow morning.
You should totally. That should be the tagline, because I always grab a quote for the tagline of the podcast. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna put the Big Llama Roman2Raw woke up this morning and piss excellence. Check out the podcast. That's gonna be the tagline. That's what's gonna be on the description. Oh man, let's see. Let's see. Oh, this is when he's hurt his legs. He's like, handsome, beautiful, articulate sons who are talented, who are talented and star athletes, and they have their legs taken
away from them. Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. That's another classic line. Don't you put that evil on me.
Exactly. But that sequence, like I said, is one of the funniest bits. And again, Michael Clarke Duncan sells it so well. And when because he got pissed, like, don't you put that evil on me. No, he's got to hear the truth.
Your legs are not broken.
And leading up to it, wasn't he playing basketball?
With the wheelchair. And then he's like, where'd he get the wheelchair from? He stole it from the cafe downstairs.
He's in there playing basketball in a wheelchair. Like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy?
Like, what hospital has a basketball court inside of it?
Right there for everyone to play while he's he's on the mend. Oh my God. Here we go. Oh, this is Cal Naughton says, from now on, you're the Magic Man and I'm El Diablo.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, then there's the dear 8-pound, 6-ounce newborn infant Jesus. Don't even know a word yet.
Don't even know a word.
Oh man. I mean, like I said, there's just so many things. They also have the aggressive advertising. If you don't chew Big Red, then fuck you.
If you don't watch the Llama Show, fuck you.
Fuck you. You don't subscribe, fuck you.
we gotta get a soundboard in here, man. I gotta have a little bleep.
Exactly. No, I mean, listen, the podcast is for adults only, so it doesn't matter.
Kids in bed.
But yeah, we forgot to tell them. But you know what?
I
put a warning. I always put a warning before. If you don't listen to the warning, that's on you.
You don't listen to the warning.
Exactly. And yeah, they capped it off with I'm not sure what to do with my hands is one of the funniest things he does in the movie.
I think if I ever come back on the Llama Show, I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah, I think one day I'm just going to randomly, while I'm talking to AD on the Sunday night live stream, I'm just going to go like this. I'm just going to put my hands up, be like, I don't know what to do with my hands, man. Oh man, so that's some of the quotes, and those are just Ricky Bobby quotes, but there are countless other quotes.
That wasn't even I feel like that wasn't even a good list. That one didn't even do the movie justice.
That list kind of sucked. It
didn't do the movie justice. They missed so much in there.
Screen Rant, you're horrible. That was horrific, man. Never use Screen Rant again.
They didn't quote the dad one time.
Right. I think they just picked obscure. You know how sometimes online content people try to give you the most obscure reference to show how cool they are. I think that was one of those fucking fake ass cool lists. We know Ricky Bobby better than anybody else. Here's some quotes you may not even heard.
Here's some mid quotes.
So yeah, we're officially saying fuck you, Screen Rant. Thank you for ruining half the show. Let's see. All right, so I like to go into trivia. So you wanted to lose some trivia. So let's go to some Ricky Bobby Talladega Nights trivia. Okay. So this is how they pitched the movie. They said that the producers pitched the movie idea to the studios in 6 words. They said Will Ferrell as a NASCAR driver, and they were
already on board.
They were
really they could have said anything as long as Will Ferrell was there. Where do I sign?
Exactly. Oh my god. So let's see.
I seen another one. It was that. So the picture they're trying to create with at least the impersonating of NASCAR driver is supposed to be your typical NASCAR driver from the 60s and 70s.
Okay.
Which it kind of hit it spot on.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny that, like I said, they're very specific on how they're making fun of NASCAR. Again, it's a tongue in cheek. It's a cheeky, look, NASCAR is giving us the rights to do these things.
They helped them produce the movie.
Right.
In the same website, they were saying how that while they're producing the movie that they went to so and so track for this race just to get cutscenes of the cars racing, and actually had the cast sit in passenger with the NASCAR driver doing 180, and all of them were saying they're so scared.
All right, so there's two interesting factors I just saw here. So first of all, back to the NASCAR thing. So it says NASCAR officials objected to the original title, so they didn't want the original title of Talladega Nights, and the working title, which is funny in itself, is High, Wide, and Handsome. That would not have worked. And it says Loud and Proud was also considered. What the fuck? That's a terrible.
That's why you guys do races, not movies.
Right. Well, that's why. But Talladega gave it the name. Talladega gives it that credibility for NASCAR fans who and I didn't know anything about Talladega other than right. Well, yeah, Daytona Nights, right? But again, those are big, ginormous racing events that you take. It's like using the title Super Bowl. That's the pinnacle of football, right? So same thing with Talladega or Daytona. That's the pinnacle of NASCAR. So for those fans, it's huge for them. This one is interesting. This is kind of because this is back in the day here. It says here the first 400,000 PlayStation 3 systems included a Blu-ray copy of this movie a month before they released the DVD.
Didn't know that.
That's crazy. So the movie was in wide circulation. It was everywhere. It was everywhere. I forgot to bring my copy. I have my copy out there. I
have one somewhere in here as well.
Yeah, I love to show it off because I buy movies like crazy, man. It's like a hobby of mine. Let's see. The car that Ricky Bobby drives over the course of the movie is a 1969 Chevrolet Chevelle Malibu. I don't know much about cars, man.
Badass.
Oh, okay. Look at this. Even the big time directors. It says this is a personal favorite movie of acclaimed filmmaker Christopher Nolan from The Dark Knight. That's high praise when one of those dudes likes your fucking movie. Oh shit! I'm sorry. I just read this. So John C. Reilly, and I remember this, and I don't know why I saw this, but Days of Thunder was playing somewhere in the background somewhere. I was watching. Days of Thunder is the Tom Cruise NASCAR movie, and I noticed that John C. Reilly, Cal Naughton, is in that movie as a pit crew member. And so it says this is John C. Reilly's second movie about racing, the first one being Days of Thunder. So he played almost the exact same character. What? So maybe there's a multiverse of
John C. Reilly.
Of John C. Reilly. Like he's Cal Naughton in different movies. So
I wanna say that he's done movies without Will Ferrell, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. He's done a bunch. He's done a bunch of movies.
I don't know. I can't like to the top of my head. I don't think I can picture him in a movie without him.
No, he was in Boogie Nights. He was in Chicago. He's been. I mean, Boogie Nights is one of like another one where he kind of plays the same character, but he's a magician. So like him calling himself Magic Man, I think is a nod to his old character. But like, it's fucking funny. Like he's a good actor. He's done a bunch of stuff. Let's see. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else here. The cast features one Oscar winner, which is Adam McKay, the director, and 5 Oscar nominees. So this movie is stacked with people who have been nominated for Oscars. John C. Reilly was nominated, Sacha Baron Cohen, Michael Clarke Duncan, and Amy Adams, which is his eventual love interest at the end there.
It's still got to be doing numbers, dude. I watch it like every other week on Netflix.
Yeah, it's just so much fun to just sip. It's one of those movies that you can turn your brain off, and that's kind of how I enjoy the movie. Is like I never really take it super serious. I love all the quotables. It's just a fun watch, and so like that to me is a sign of a great comedy. Like if I can just turn it on and laugh at any point, and I don't have to worry about the story or the. That's kind of how I feel about this particular movie. It's
still got a great story when you think about it.
It does. Yeah. And I'm not taking away from the story, but like, you're right. It's still a great story. It still makes sense. Like it's just not stupid to be stupid.
Yeah.
It's the rise and the fall, right? It's how he becomes who he is, how he loses his he loses he loses his edge, right? Like he loses the ability to win, and then how he gets it back, right? And then there's a whole sequence with the the Jaguar or the Puma?
Yeah. He had a I think it was a Puma or something like that.
Yeah, no, and that thing is just sitting in the back, and he's
Cougar. That's what it's Cougar.
A Cougar. Yeah. Oh my god.
And then the dad was like, "Oh, you got a brick of a brick of cocaine under your car. You better haul out." And he had the police chasing him and shit with a Cougar in his back seat.
Exactly. Like who the fuck does that? Who? But again, it's the movie itself serves a pretty funny purpose, and the characters actually grow in the movie. Like his wife never grows. His wife is the same person that she always is. A gold digging, NASCAR trophy wife, who at the drop of a dime, like, oh, you're not winning anymore? Fuck you. I'm going with Cal. And
yeah. And then he put his face in all the dudes' pictures. All right. So here's another one. Like how I was saying, like all the old school stuff, like all the old school logos and stuff. When Ricky Bobby and his wife get married, and they show all like the wedding picture, how everybody has the red eyes, like I used to do back in the day with the camera.
Yeah. Oh my god! Like that was another like funny like exchange, which is I've only been gone for a short period of time. He's already moved in. He's like, hey, and then he calls him like, hey man. You ever hear funny noises in your house in the middle of the night? And he's like, don't call me. Why are you calling me? He's sitting there with my wife.
He's like, listen, don't just because your life's going bad or something like that, don't throw out the last person, your best friend. He said, you took everything away from me. Why am I talking to you?
Yeah, exactly. So, serious but not serious question: did Cal Naughton tap that ass
Oh, for
on
sure.
the wife? You think so?
For sure.
But that's like betrayal. That's like the bro code betrayal. Like you're not my
Listen,
friend.
if you take the time to put a picture of your face over that man's face, that's crazy.
In his
That's
own
crazy.
home. In his own home. Like that's disrespect right there. It's fucking disrespect.
3 hours.
For sure, man. Oh man, no, that to me was like the one moment I was like, nah, fuck this guy. Like I would punch Cal Naughton. I would punch him in his shit right then and there. You took my wife. Oh my god,
Magic Man.
Can I just win one time? No, that means I would lose.
How would I win?
Exactly. I do the winning. But what's great is how the start of it all, right? Like, and then we didn't even talk about the start, like how they got into the car, right? But like the fucking driver who they were supporting was like, he gets out of the pit and he goes, "I'm gonna go get a sandwich, man."
No, he said, "I gotta take a piss. We're in last place, anyways."
Then he's sitting over there eating.
No, they were showing, and the movie actually opens up with Ricky Bobby as a small child.
Oh, that's right.
His mom goes into the store. He hops in the front seat and hauls ass with the car. I'm like, me as a kid watching this, I'm like, bro, there's no way I could ever do that. And then even with my younger mind, I'm like, how did they even do this? Like, did they really put a kid in the driver's seat?
Oh yeah,
just to make the movie? Like, that's crazy.
No, but you're right. You're right. So it's like kind of his origin story, right? Where as a kid, and his dad gets thrown out of fucking parent night or parent day at the school.
Yeah, he comes in smoking a cigarette. He's all fucked up, and he's like, because the winners is what gets paid.
Exactly.
Like, I'm sorry, you need to leave.
Don't listen to this, your teacher. Oh man, yeah, and then he gets.
You're a winner, son. Remember, you ain't first, you're last.
And that's like the lasting like quote. Obviously, that's like the most popular quote in the entire movie is if you're not first, you're last. And for a long time, I kind of subscribed to that. I think that's fucking right. If you're not first, you're last.
If you're first, you're last.
What is it? The second place is the first loser. Like that's like all those types of things I think is true. And so like, it's weird, like how deep of a meaning it could have, but really it's just fucking ridiculous.
Exactly. He in the end of the movie, he confronts his dad and he's like, but if you ain't first, you're last. And he's like, what do you mean? They're second, third, fourth. And he's like, I based my whole life on this.
Oh yeah, he's like, I just made that shit up.
He said, I was coked up. What do you expect?
I mean, but and it's just that's the guy. That's who he is. he's Gary.
And then they go out as a family to Applebee's. I like how they pick like Applebee's as a restaurant, like
the most random restaurant, and then he keeps getting kicked out of Applebee's.
Screw Applebee's.
Applebee's
the one over there, the one in Port St. Lucie, terrible. Yo, I had to wait like 45 minutes just to pay my bill.
I've never had a good experience at an Applebee's.
Never. That was the only time I ever went, and I probably won't ever go back.
Shit. There goes my sponsorship deal with Applebee's.
F them. Wingstop, cut the check.
Exactly. Unless you cut the check, then I'm all over your zingers or whatever fuck appetizers you guys have.
Midget. Go to Wingstop. Get some of that lemon pepper.
Let me tell you a story of Applebee's because this is the funniest thing. We're with some baseball kids. They're like 9-10 years old, and we bring this one kid over, go to Applebee's, and he finds the most expensive thing. He buys the steak and broccoli, and he fucking orders a steak and broccoli. 9 years old, this little kid's fucking with a fork and knife cutting up steak, just enjoying the shit out of it. And I'm like, I'm paying for this shit. Like, we're all getting burgers. You over here getting fucking steak. I don't know. I'm not even getting steak.
That's ballsy. That's
right.
Ballsy.
That's some balls on your ass. Like, come on, man.
By any chance, was he Caucasian?
You know he was Caucasian.
Had to have been.
Who orders steak and
Spanish
broccoli?
house when your mom, if you leave and your mom tells you when you go to a restaurant, your mom, you better get chicken fingers and French fries. That's it.
Exactly.
That's
you get the cheapest shit on the menu for a long time.
Anytime, just let me know what I'm getting. You know what I'm saying? You order for me.
Yeah, exactly. For a long time, even like that custom has stayed with me for so long that even when I like was working and like it was expense and like our bosses took us out to dinner or some shit, I would always look around and say, okay, what are they ordering in what price range? Because I didn't want to be that guy who's off, you know, who's like way the fuck off and be like ordering the lobster and shit. So I'm just I'd be doing mental math. I'd be like, all right, he had steak. That's $25. All right. This guy had the scallops. That's $30. All right. This guy over here had ribs. That's another $25. All right. I'm in the $25, $30 range. I got my pick right there, and I just go right with it. I'm with everybody else.
Oh no! Like, every time my boss ever paid for me to eat, I'm running it up every time. Every time, because a lot of the jobs I've working outside. Listen. And a lot of, like I had this one boss that I worked for in Stewart, and he used to take us to IHOP, and it was in the morning. We'd all get to the shop, and he'd be like, "Oh, let's all go to IHOP, or whatever." I'm like, "Listen, I know we're going to work after this.
Yeah,
give me the steak and eggs, extra steak, and I want chocolate milk. You know, there's no refills. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. He's paying."
Yeah, exactly. I'll get 60 refills of that chocolate milk. All right, man. So bring it back to Ricky Bobby. I think Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby, is a classic. Obviously, we give it high praise, high ratings, recommended by us.
10 out of 10.
Right. I don't think anybody gets to this point in the podcast having not seen it. So, like, it would be stupid to be like, go see this movie. But because honestly, you heard about the whole fucking movie if you're at this point of the podcast.
There's no way you've never heard of the movie. There's no way.
Exactly.
If you lived in North America for at least over a year, there's no way you haven't come across this movie.
Well, it's playing constantly at doctors' offices and on free TV.
Wherever.
It's constant. That's how I used to watch all my movies, was on free TV or like whatever was playing on the local stations. So. And I put it on record. All right. So we've basically run down the movie. We had a pretty good time sort of just going through the movie. And this is what the Be Kind Rewind podcast is about. Sitting down with a friend and just talking through some movie, talking shit about a movie, enjoying it. And again, this is not an intellectual podcast where, you know, we're here breaking down specific scenes and like pacing it. Fuck that. We're talking about the funny things about movies, the things we love about the movies. And those are the types of conversations we have. So if you like these types of podcasts, you want to hear more, again, make sure like and subscribe. Make sure you follow or whatever the fuck they tell you to do for podcasts. I'm still not as familiar on podcasts, but if you are watching this on the Big Llama Show on YouTube, like and subscribe. That's how you show appreciation for this podcast. And that's how you support the channel so that I can eventually quit my regular job and do this as a full-time job. That's the dream. That's the dream right there.
Coming soon.
Exactly.
Coming soon.
Road
to 5K.
Any parting shots, Roman, before we adjourn?
Got at least promo myself. Listen, follow me on Twitch, Roman2Raw. And you can also find me on YouTube, Blackout Roman2Raw. What am I missing? Facebook, Gabe Roman. Instagram, Mr._Roman__. Thank you. All
right. No, hey, self-promo. That's what we got to do.
Yes, sir.
And guys, like I said, thank you so much for joining us tonight on the Be Kind Rewind podcast. I'm your host, the Big Llama. Again, we will do these podcasts on different movies. Be on the lookout for movie reactions. If you like movie reaction type content, go to YouTube, The Big Llama Show. And guys, we'll be back with Roman again. We'll bring him back on to do more Be Kind Rewind podcasts. If you like what you saw, make sure you hit us up in the comments. Let us know what other movies you'd like us to cover. I believe we could probably do Step Brothers next. If that's,
yeah.
We could just segue from this to Step Brothers. So be on the lookout for Step Brothers. Look, I'm already going to promo it. We're going to fucking do it. It's going to happen.
There's just so many. There's Step Brothers, Get Hard, Anchorman.
Yeah.
What was the one with Mark Wahlberg?
Oh God, the other guys.
Oh my gosh, that's another one. Hilarious.
With the famous
female body inspector. Get out of town.
What was it? I think that's the line. He's like, I'm so fucking scared right now. Which is my favorite line. I use it all the time. So yeah,
they're flying.
We're all right. So we're definitely going to come back. Roman2Raw is going to come back to the Be Kind Rewind podcast. Again, we're going to cover a Will Ferrell film. Either Step Brothers, Anchorman, the other guys, one of those films we're going to cover. So stay tuned. Come back to the Be Kind Rewind podcast. Show it some love. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. This is the It for the Be Kind Rewind podcast. I'm your host, the Big Llama. He is Roman2Raw. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to see you guys. Be kind, rewind, and we're going to see you on the next one.
First off, I don't care what you people say. Never follow rules. I'm a trendsetter anyway. Okay, I march to the beat of my own drum. They say I need rules in my life. Well, I got some. That's 1. Kill the competition. 2. Be a loyal dog. 3. And if they snitching on your man, send them to the morgue. 4. When you party, go hard till you hit the floor. 5. If you didn't see me do it, what the hell you asking for?